But far bigger roadworks on the agenda first, and that is Botley Rd and the sheer length of time that this project under the bridge at the railway station has been taking. Look, this was supposed to last, 6 months when it started in 2023, and now babies that were born as Botley Rd closed are approaching their second birthday. 688 days that bridge under the railway has been closed. That's 437 days longer than the original expected reopening date of December the 15th, 2023. And it's not done yet. We know this closure has led to a significant impact on local businesses, a decline in sales because of reduced traffic access, and huge disruption to people's commutes, and widespread congestion through the city too. So one question for you this morning. I want to know what has happened in your life since the bridge under Botley Rd shut, April the 11th, 2023. 688 days. Have you got married, divorced, moved house, had a grandchild, changed a job, retired? What has happened, please? Text 81333 and start your message with the word Oxford this morning. Phil in Whitney's been extremely busy, says Sophie. Since the Botley Rd shut, my wife and I have celebrated our silver wedding anniversary, and our daughter-in-law has given birth to our first grandson. Oh, that's lovely, Phil. Congrats. What's happened in your life in that time, please? Text me 81333. Start your message with the word Oxford. So in a bid to make things a little bit better for those worst affected, last night was the first of 4 local meetings held in Oxford on Oseley Mead, held by Network Rail to speak to local residents. They invited them to learn more about the progress on this multi-million-pound programme to upgrade the railway and Oxford station. So, what happened there? Well, one of the residents that went along is on the line now. Julian Le Vay. Morning, Julian.
Good morning to you.
How was it from your point of view last night? Was it busy? What happened?
Quite a good turnout, about 60 people. We met with Network Rail. The county council were invited, but with their usual disdain for our community, didn't bother to attend.
Well, we don't have the county council on the show this morning, Julian, but when Andrew Gant, who's in charge of roads, was last on the show, he did say, that this decision was very much out of his hands, and it was Network Rail that was responsible. And they did show up last night. They put themselves in front of you.
Well, they weren't visible. We had a discussion there. We were told by Network Rail the county council did not send anybody, so I believe that they were not there. As regards your comment on Andrew Gant, I wrote to him on 14th January on behalf of the community, listing all the ways in which we believe the county council is responsible in part for the mess. He didn't even bother to reply, and that is typical of the man.
Well, listen, we're not here to take chunks off Andrew Gant, but we will ask him about that, Julian, for you. But last night is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
What did Network Rail say? How did you feel?
Well, I thought that full marks to them for holding the meeting. They were there, and the people who were there were senior, and they knew what they were talking about. However, it is a characteristic of this project that just when you think things can't get worse, they get worse. So we had 2 really bad bits of news last night. The first is that the whole station project will likely not be completed until 2028 or possibly 2029. That's 5 years later than it should be, and we reckon a couple of $100 million overspent. So you were talking about people growing up while this is going on. They're going to be a good bit older before they can walk under that bridge.
I mean, how did people react to that, Julian? Was there like a sort of audible gasp?
With anger. And there's a mixture of anger and resignation and depression. It's really quite prevalent in our community now. The other bit of bad news for those of us living right next to the station in Abbey and Cripley Roads is that the county council and Network Rail have got together without involving us to decide to send all the traffic, that's 16 buses an hour at peak times, and all the cement trucks and all of that heavy traffic, right to the end of Abbey Road, which is a quiet cul-de-sac residential street, and round back onto Botley Road as a way of turning round at the end of the road. And in all likelihood, all our parking will be removed. And, so for instance, my wife, who has difficulty walking, won't be able to get to our car. It'll be parked miles away. And the mood in our street now is really that we have no option but to resist this as best we can. I mean, we've tried lobbying, we've tried speaking at meetings. It has no effect. Every time we go to a meeting, there's some new ghastly news about a further intrusion into our community. It feels like an army of occupation, and we feel we must now resist it.
Appreciate you coming on to give us an update. Thank you. Julian Le Vay, one of the residents who was at this meeting on the Botley Road last night. Yes, some interesting stuff out of Network Rail. The main speaker, Francis McGarry, who's the investment director, said that Network Rail is out of its comfort zone with the project and is effectively rebuilding the whole of the road, the whole of the Botley Road, because of the discovery of this Victorian arch back in July 2023. In terms of Thames Water and Oxfordshire County Council and Kia not being there, McGarry said they were all invited. Nobody was available for last night's meeting, but they've all promised to try and attend the future meeting. There's going to be 3 more meetings on this. Our reporter Chris McHugh was there as well, speaking to other residents, including Tamina Sarangi, who was representing disabled residents, who was telling Chris how the closure has affected all of them.
As someone with a disability, the closure of the Botley Road has had a massive impact on my life and every aspect of my life, and also other people who have mobility impairments and disabilities have also been massively affected. I've had to change my working arrangements to work remotely because I wasn't able to access my work. I'm not able to care for my elderly parents who live in the centre of Oxford. I wasn't able to continue a postgraduate course that I was applying for because I couldn't access it. So these are the sort of things that are happening to disabled people. It's been a long time and I've kind of run out of hope, but I'm hoping to continue to make a noise about this. Whether or not anything is going to be listened to, I can't say. It hasn't been so far.
So there are 3 more meetings where Network Rail is putting themselves in front of residents in Botley, at Oasley at the King's Centre, 1 a month for the next few months. But we've got Network Rail coming on the show in just under an hour's time. What would you like them to hear? I mean, it might not be a question. It might just be how you're feeling this morning, how this closure that's been happening for the best part of 700 days has been affecting your life. You know, if you can, finish the sentence. For me, the Botley Road closure has meant... ... Text me, finish that sentence, 81333. Start your message with the word Oxford, and I will read those to Network Rail in an hour's time. Sophie.